Due to circumstances beyond our control, we're back. Happy Monday, second day of March 2026. February is in the books. March is coming in like a lamb. If you've been enjoying this beautiful weather, and it's been really nice, especially the afternoon hours, nice and mild, mid-50s. We had 54 on Saturday. We had 55 Friday, 54 Saturday, 55 yesterday. We're going to do it one more day today, maybe a couple of degrees cooler, and then everything's going to change. Starting tonight, clouds will be rolling in while we're sleeping. Tomorrow, cloudy but dry, and then things get a little wet, especially Wednesday. We're going to have quite a bit of rain down here in the Wenatchee Valley Wednesday, and the temperatures are going to cool back down to about where they should be this time of the year. But one more nice, I hope you have today off. If you don't, take it off, because this is it for this beautiful sunny and mild weather. In fact, Malcolm is leaving right now. So here's a rerun of the banana splits. Do we have that ready to go? We don't. I guess I'll just do the show. Happy Monday. What else we got going on? We got news, lots of sports, a lot of sports. How do all the local basketball teams do in their respective state playoff debuts? We'll let you know. A lot to touch on there. Mariners didn't win any games over the weekend, but they didn't count. The Kraken did win over the weekend, and it does count. The Wenatchee Wild went 1-2 over the weekend. They lost at Kelowna on Friday. They beat Kelowna on Saturday night at the Town Toyota Center for Hockey Fights Cancer, and then Everett took it to them yesterday. We'll have highlights of hockey. And we love Margaret Viebrock because she does really good work. She runs the Shalane Douglas WSU Extension office, and she also does a lot of good work for people. She helps people budget for food, how to make food, that kind of deal. And her organization took a $350,000 hit when the One Big Beautiful Bill was signed, and she had 3 full-time employees, and they all got laid off. She needs some help. She had a chance to sit down with her very own Jefferson Robbins, and we'll have that conversation in the back half of the program with Margaret Viebrock. You don't want to miss that. Classy lady doing yeoman's work. It's Do This, folks. It's camera time. What do we got? We have this. Sun is up and has been for, well, since 6:39 this morning. Longer days. Today will be 3 minutes and 23 seconds longer than yesterday. 6:39 sunrise, 5:48 sunset, 11 hours, 9 minutes of daylight. Quick heads up. Standard time ends on Sunday. Sunday will only be 23 hours long, and we go to daylight saving time on Sunday. Don't get me started. Good morning to the Tumwater Canyon camera. Now you can tell how much longer the days are getting because on Friday at this time, we did not have the sun peeking up over the ridge outside of Leavenworth. Now we do. So there you go there. Down to the Arundel Rock camera, I guess is the best way to put that. I don't see a cloud in the sky, none at all. Mission Ridge is looking good. Of course, they were busy with Special Olympics, Winter Special Olympic Games in town up at Mission Ridge. I hope all went well. Beautiful view from Arundel Rock and Lake Antioch on this Monday morning. Now let's see what Cashmere looks like. It looks something like this from the Hay Canyon camera. A good swath of Cashmere visible there. And of course the East Wenatchee Bench way off into the distance from Hay Canyon overlooking Cashmere. Active weather finally returns. We've had this beautiful stretch of weather. Well, the ridge of high pressure gonna start moving out of alignment later on today. We'll have lots of sunshine today, and temperatures will remain mild actually all the way through tomorrow. And then the real active weather returns Tuesday night into Wednesday. Snow in the mountains, rain in the lower elevations, especially on Wednesday here in the Wenatchee Valley. Not a lot of snow in the mountain passes, but enough to make winter traveling a little on the dicey side with the arrival of actually there's a number of weather systems lined up that's going to pay us a visit here in the Pacific Northwest and North Central Washington. So the really nice sunny weather is going to hang on for one more day. That's today, and things are going to change. Now it is March, and we do this on the first broadcast day of each month. Here is what the Climate Prediction Center says March will look like. As you can see, we have about the equal chances of seeing normal temperatures and normal precipitation. Pretty straightforward there, so they're kind of hedging their bets. We don't really know. Of course, they're asking to, predict the weather for an entire month. Although I must say they do a pretty good job of it. But right now, as you can see, equal chances of normal temperatures, equal chances of normal precipitation. That's from the Climate Prediction Center. From our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. After highs of 55, 54, and 55, 56 today, but lots of sunshine. Even though it's only 30 now, we are having considerably longer days, which means more radiant sunlight. So we could have, we still have pretty chilly overnight lows. I mean, it's 30 right now, but we're going to climb up quite a bit before this day is said and done. Increasing clouds tonight, 36 for the overnight low. You're going to wake up to clouds on Tuesday, and they're going to stay that way all day with a high of 53. And then we start talking rain. Tuesday night after sunset, about a 50% chance of rain. The cloud cover is going to keep us pretty mild, 39 for the overnight low. Rain likely on Wednesday, pretty much all day, right up until about 3:30 or 4 on Wednesday afternoon. 70% chance of rain on Wednesday, and a good chance of rain, a good chance of snow if the mountain passes throughout the course of the day on Wednesday. Then we dry out, partly cloudy Wednesday night, 38 for the overnight low. Sunshine and clouds together back and forth on Thursday with a high of 51, partly sunny Friday, 53. Look how warm we're going to be on the overnight low Friday night, 42. Very mild indeed. Things are looking a little unsettled. Saturday, cloudy, chance of rain, high of 56. Sunday, for the first day of daylight saving, partly sunny and a high of 55. Again, best chance of measurable rain, definitely going to be Wednesday. I think we're going to get wet all day. We could use it. We're going to take a break and come back with your headlines. There's a lot to talk about on this Monday. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $4,800.
We just popped up a couple of degrees. It is freezing, 32 degrees, 56 with lots of sunshine. One more day of really lovely, just very pleasant weather as we enter into March. The clouds roll in tonight. We'll see some rain by Wednesday. The temperatures will cool down, but not too much. It's 9 minutes after the hour. About 70 people gathered at Memorial Park, only about a block from where I'm sitting, and they gathered yesterday to protest recent U.S. and Israeli military strikes on Iran, joining anti-war demonstrations that were held across the country. Protest organizer Melissa Tigard, founder of Confluence Indivisible, says the action was in response to what she called an unconstitutional use of executive power by President Trump, arguing that Congress was not consulted before the strikes. Tigard urged community members to contact lawmakers, including Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell, and Representatives Kim Schreier and Dan Newhouse, to demand stronger congressional oversight. She said their message was not about defending foreign governments, but about asserting Congress's constitutional role and making their voices heard. A propane truck rolled over on Highway 2 near Orondo. This happened on Friday afternoon. It breached the tank. It also forced the closure of the highway. The nearby community also ordered to shelter in place for a couple of hours. The Washington State Patrol says a 2018 Freightliner semi being driven by 54-year-old Ronald E. Gladsjoe of East Wenatchee was southbound on Highway 2 at Playland Court when it left the roadway and rolled onto its side at about 1:34 on Friday afternoon. Gladsjoe was injured, treated by emergency personnel at the scene. The crash punctured the propane tank, which began venting gas. Emergency responders closed the highway between Orondo Marketplace and milepost 139. It's about a mile south of Orondo. Orondo Fire and the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department cordoned off the scene and allowed the leaking propane to burn itself off. The semi was removed and the highway reopened by Saturday morning. The State Patrol says the precise cause of the crash is under investigation. A Moses Lake man accused of murder in the death of his grandfather in 2024 has entered a guilty plea. 28-year-old Isaiah Joshua Thomas, he's been in jail since November of 2024 after the body of his grandfather, 75-year-old Richard Andrews, was discovered in a shallow grave on property Andrews owned on Stanley Drive. Moses Lake police arrested Thomas, a former college athlete, at a home in Knowles Vista. That's where he's been living with his grandfather. Grant County prosecutors charged him with second-degree murder and assault after his recent guilty plea, and Superior Court attorneys scheduled a sentencing date of March 10th. A Rock Island home caught fire early Friday morning after clothing ignited from being placed too close to a space heater. The fire broke out at about 5 a.m. in the 10 block of Cambridge Avenue. Wenatchee Valley Fire Marshal Kurt Blanchard says clothing came in contact with an upright portable space heater, and that caused the blaze. 2 adults and a dog inside the home at the time. Blanchard says one occupant woke up to flames in his bedroom, punched out a window, climbed outside, then ran around to the front of the house to help his elderly mother escape. No injuries were reported, and the family dog also made it out safely. The fire was contained to the bedroom but extended into the attic. Firefighters had to break through ceilings through the home to fully extinguish the flames. The Rock Island incident follows a Thursday residential blaze in the 1200 block of Maple Street in Wenatchee. That displaced 6 people. On Saturday, the Chuck Wagon Ministries food pantry began operations out of the King's Harvest Church of Christ in Wenatchee. The food bank was previously housed at the Kingdom Embassy Church in East Wenatchee. The new pantry site operates every Saturday beginning at 11 a.m. until they run out of food. Church elder Jerry Hardgrove told us he's enthusiastic about the food bank coming to his church.
We've met with these people, and our facility is such that it's going to be easier for people to access it, and because there's no stairs and larger area for them to use, and we're excited to be able to help. You know, the individual that started it has gotten it so that different businesses provide food and stuff, and he goes around and picks it up and brings it here. They'll bring it here on Saturday morning and we'll set it all up and have people come in and get it. And so we're just excited that we can be able to use the facilities that we have been blessed with here to help, and now we're able to help in this manner, and we're just think it's a great work that we can be a part of.
And finally, on this Monday, Douglas County's elected sheriff signed off. For the last time on Thursday, Kevin Morris's retirement became effective at the end of February after 8 years on the job. Morris announced his plans to leave office last year. He's been replaced by interim Sheriff Tyler Kale, who plans to run to retain the position come November, but he's got to get through the primary first. He'll face Chelan County Sheriff's Deputy Adam Musgrove and former Quincy Police Chief Keith Siebert on the ballot in the August primary. And I believe filing week is in May, I want to say. And that's the news at quarter after the hour. We'll be right out of the gate in the bullpen. The whole crew gathering the news, disseminating the news, figuring out what the news is, writing it, filming it, and then out it comes. The NCW Life Evening News at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock right here on television. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock for you traditional TV consumers. If you're unplugged, but you have the internet, we're good to go. We stream 24/7. Our news will be posted on our homepage, ncwlife.com, and on our YouTube page, and we'll put a link on our Facebook page. We have X, we have Instagram, we're on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. We're everywhere. We even have an email address, and we're darn proud of it. Took us a long time to figure out we'll just do news at ncwlife.com. Apparently it works because you people know how to use it. Going to take a break, and when we come back, a typical busy Monday in sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Chelan Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Sports at 18 minutes after the hour. The Mariners went winless over the weekend in Cactus League play, but then again, they don't count. So they lost to the Diamondbacks on Friday. They lost to the Padres on Saturday, and a 9-4 loss to the Rangers yesterday in Peoria. Cole Young, though, he had a highlight. He got the Mariners on the board with a homer in the first inning.
It's one of the components that he brings to this team, and it was very helpful at the time. And that may be a homer.
A swing and a fly ball deep to right field off the bat of Cole Young. Goodbye, baseball. Cole Young, his first home run of the Cactus League season. Rounding second, heading home with Victor Robles in front of him, and the Mariners with a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. What a start for the Mariners. A lead over the Rangers right away. How about that, Cammy?
It's a cold world, Rick. It's a cold world for the young Cole.
The little guy, he's not going to hit a lot of home runs, but he's got some pop. He hit one of the longest. Or whoever's behind the plate. Next pitch. Swinging a blind drive into the gap in right center field. Down for a base hit. Carmelo will score. Rambush rounding third. Heading home. The throw in is going to be cut off. Rambush will score. Around to third goes Brian O'Keefe. A single and 2 runs batted in for Spencer Packard. And it's now the Rangers 9 and the Mariners 4.
Mariners have their first day without a game today. They'll still be working out, of course, in Peoria, but they don't actually play a game. They'll host the LA Angels tomorrow. Jordan Eberle scored twice, added an assist to the Seattle Kraken. Finally got back on the winning track. 5-1 was the final at Climate Pledge Arena on Saturday night. Vince Dunn, Chandler Stevenson, and Matty Beniers also scored for the Kraken, who snapped their 2-game skid during which they were outscored 9-2 following the Olympic break. But it helps when you play Vancouver, who hasn't been very good for quite some time. Joey Decord, by the way, 27 saves. The Kraken will host the Carolina Hurricanes tonight at 7 on Kong TV. We'll have highlights tomorrow. Men's college basketball scoreboard. All the men lost over the weekend, including Gonzaga, upset by St. Mary's 90-59. Huskies lost to Wisconsin at home 90-73. Pepperdine beat Wazoo 88-79. It's been a tough year for the men and women from Washington State. Women's college basketball scoreboard, though. Cougars and Huskies won, but Gonzaga didn't. This is kind of strange. You don't see this too often. Gonzaga lost in overtime to Portland at 92-91. Wazoo knocked off St. Mary's 57-50. Washington women beat Oregon by just a point, 70-69, to clinch a first round bye in the Big Ten tournament. All right, high school sports. Here we go. We'll start out with the girls' state 2B tournament scoreboard. For Okanagan, their season came to an end. They lost to Colfax 61-48. Brewster knocked off Tudor Lake 49-46, and Lake Roosevelt rolled over Orcas Island in the 2B tournament 66-42. So Lake Roosevelt and Brewster still alive. In Spokane on Thursday, Lake Roosevelt will take on Tudor Lake. That's at 9 a.m. on Thursday morning. Brewster doesn't know who they're going to play yet. Brewster's now in the quarterfinals. They'll take on the winner of Raymond, South Bend, and Reardon. They will do that Friday at quarter afternoon. Go Brewster Bears. In the girls' state 1B tournament, Waterville-Mansfield went to overtime, and then they knocked off Cross Point Christian 73-67 at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium. Amira Cooley Hardline took care of Muckleshoot Tribal 53-41. Garfield Palouse beat Pateros 47-44, but Pateros is still in the tournament. In Spokane this weekend, here's your schedule. Pateros will take on Pa'el. That'll be Thursday at 5:30 in Spokane. Thursday at 9 o'clock, Amira Cooley Hardline will take on Lummi Nation. Waterville-Mansfield is in the quarterfinals, so they don't know who they're going to play yet. It's either going to be Pomeroy or Yakima Tribal. That will be on Friday. Go Shockers. Now to the boys. Chelan took the long trip to Linden and lost to Linden Christian. Bit of a blowout there. 84-63 was the final in the boys state 1A tournament. So what's next for Chelan? Here's what's next for Chelan. They'll take on Cascade Christian in Yakima at the Sundome Thursday at 10:30 in the morning. In the boys state 2B tournament, Reardon knocked off Okanagan 60-48. Colfax took care of Liberty Bell 96-49, but both Okanagan and Liberty Bell still in the tournament. It's double elimination. Here's their schedule. Okanagan will take on Mount Christian on Thursday at 3:45 in Spokane, and in the boys state 2B tournaments, Liberty Bell and Adna. That'll be Thursday at 9 o'clock again in Spokane. In the boys state 1B tournament scoreboard, Amira Cooley Hardline, both the boys and the girls won. They beat Nia Bay 64-51. Amira Cooley Hardline, both boys and girls may take home trophies. We'll have to wait till the weekend to find out. Next up for Amira Cooley Hardline, it's another one of those deals. They got to wait. They'll take on the winner of Columbia Adventist and Wahkiakum Friday at 2 o'clock in the quarterfinals. And the Wenatchee Wild went 1-2 over the weekend. They lost in Kelowna on Friday night. The final there was 5-1. Between losses to Kelowna on Friday and losses to Everett yesterday, they squeezed out a victory. A 5-goal barrage in the third period propelled the Wild to a 62 victory over Kelowna. That was Saturday night. It was Hockey Fights Cancer night.
The pass from Mason Kraft back in behind the net. Far corner with it, 15 minutes to go. First period, long toss, settled by Elliott, slips it behind him. Here comes Saab to the net. He drives, he scores! Zane Saab gets that motor running. Every cylinder he had, 1-0 Wenatchee. Thrown and tipped wide. Smith smashes it on, save made, second chance, they score! Kalen Jodry again! A goal! In back-to-back games, and the Wild have tied it at 2. Picked up left point, snapped toward the net, blocked wide, still looking for it, bottom of the slot, scramble, where is it? Jammed up top, they score! Sam Elliott to the top of the net, that puck kept bouncing and rolling and skidding and settling right on the stick of Sam Elliott. 2-3 makes it 3-2. Near point Halliburton got it stolen. Wedman finding Bassett in front, tries it and sent it off the shoulder of Benini high and away. Wild grabbed this one back though. Silliban looking in front, they score! Riley Bassett right on the doorstep. Welcome back, Bass! 4-2 Wenatchee. Toll trying to get there first. Alkos smashed into the corner boards with Gross-Kloss. Kelowna still with it. McGinley shovels it right onto the stick. of Toll. Cleared ahead, 2-on-1. Comes Grosskloss. Waiting. Wrist shot. He scores! Aiden Grosskloss. Mercy. 5-2. The Wild on top by 3 with a top shelf tally. Thrown aside by Smith to the far hash mark. Down to 1:55 to go in the third. Across for Smith. He scores! Keep that puck. It's his first Western Hockey League goal. And the lead is at 6-2. Wedman in to take the final draw of the night. He wins it. We'll let the crowd take it from here.
Wild are on the road. They have back-to-backers with Penticton, so they'll be on the road Friday up at the Okanagan Event Center to take on the V's, and they'll be back at the Town Hall Center Saturday night again to take on Penticton. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. You can celebrate the following obscure holidays today if you are so inclined. Today is Dr. Seuss Day. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It's also Banana Cream Pie Day, which sounds really good right about now. But no, we're not doing any of that stuff. Today is National Old Stuff Day. Today, and it's a day to go through your house and your garage and your cellar and your attic and just get rid of the gunk that you just don't need anymore. Now, I'm not talking about the stuff that, stuff that has sentimental value, scrapbooks and diplomas and things like that. You don't want to throw those away. But take a look at the stuff around your house and say, I have not used that thing in years. Why do I have it? Get rid of it. Do something with it. We have some fun facts about just junk or garbage. The number one piece of trash that used to be picked up along beaches and shorelines were cigarette butts. That has since been replaced by single-use plastics. That's now the number one item that washes up on shorelines all over this country. Every year, 12 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean, and it's getting worse, not better. Well, however, I don't care what you think about San Francisco, you got to give them this. San Francisco recycles about 80% of the garbage that it generates gets recycled in San Francisco. About half of all Americans buy a new cell phone every year. What happens to the old one? That's my point. U.S. consignment shops, thrift shops, antique stores, about $20 billion in annual sales, so there might be money in some of that stuff. The average American, just an American, and we're good at it, we produce, on average, per American, 5 pounds of garbage every day, and we only recycle less than about 1.5 pounds of that every day. We can do better than that. Scrap recycling creates a lot of jobs. About 500,000 jobs in this country owes themselves to recycling stuff that's scrapped out. And from 1972 to 2009, the estimate is more than 1 trillion aluminum cans ended up in the dump. They can be recycled. That's a lot of cans. Get rid of the crap today. Maybe we should call it that. Wilt Chamberlain made history on this date in 1962. 64 years ago today, he scores 100 points in an NBA basketball game. The Philadelphia Warriors beat the Knicks 169 to 147. First of all, it wasn't even played in Philadelphia. It was a Philadelphia home game, but they played it in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So there's no film of it. There's no radio play-by-play. It was not televised. The only thing that's out there is grainy audio of the fourth quarter when it looked like he may actually get to 100 points. The NBA wasn't recognized really as a major league back in 1962. College basketball was much more popular than the NBA. No members of the New York press were at the game. It was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Wilt scored 23 points in the first quarter, 18 points in the second quarter, 28 points in the third quarter, and 31 points in the fourth quarter. His second half scoring output of 59 points is also an NBA record. Wilt pours in 100. Apparently they didn't play defense. 169 to 147 was the final. This was 64 years ago today. Happy birthday to the CD in this country. March 2nd, 1983, 43 years ago today, compact discs and compact players are introduced to the United States and other markets. They've been available only in Japan the year private. This was 1983. Not long afterwards, I bought my very first CD player, and I still have it. The funny thing is, I bought the CD player. It was a lot of money. It was like $700. in 1983 money. I was so excited because I heard so much about it, I read so much about it, and I went home and I plugged it all in, and I realized I bought a CD player and I didn't have any compact discs. I had to drive back down to the record store and buy CDs. This was 1983. By 1988, compact discs would outsell albums for the first time. And finally, in the PGA Tour, a typical PGA Tour event has 140 golfers in the field. The last four in the PGA Tour, they're called rabbits. And they're the last four in, and what rabbits do is on the Monday before the tournament, they fork over $100. Well, $100, this was 40 years ago. They would fork over $100, and they would play in a Monday qualifier, and the four golfers with the lowest scores would then be in the tournament. Well, it was on this date 40 years ago today, during the Monday qualifier, Kenny Knox, who had about $2,000 to his name, paid the $100 qualifier to play in the Monday round. He made it. He qualified as the 140th last player in the field, and then he won the tournament. He won the Honda Classic. He won the $90,000 first prize. He shot an 80 in the third round. He is the last PGA golfer to shoot an 80 in any of the four rounds and still win the tournament. And his final score, his four-round total of 287, remains to this day the highest score of anybody who actually won a PGA Tour event. Golfer number 140 in a field of 140 wins a PGA Tour event. It happened 40 years ago today at the Honda Classic. 32 minutes after the hour. We mentioned it's Dr. Seuss Day. Theodore Geisel, born in the state in 1904. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, If I Ran the Circus, Horton Hears a Who, The Cat in the Hat, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Green Eggs and Ham, and everything else. Required reading for every kid. We wore out our entire Dr. Seuss library. When I was a kid, Dr. Seuss was born in the state in 1904. Lived a long time, lived to the age of 87. Desi Arnaz, I love Lucy and she loves me. We're as happy as two can be. One half of the I Love Lucy parody, Desi Arnaz. Of course, he and Lucy owned Desi Lou Studios. Lucy bought Desi out after their divorce. Desi Arnaz, born in the state in 1917. Happy 96th birthday to John Cullum, two-time Tony Award winner for Best Actor. He spent most of his career in Broadway, very highly regarded, but of course we also remember him as the innkeeper Holling Vincourt on the show Northern Exposure. John Cullum is 96 years old today. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. Jefferson Robbins sat down with Margaret Viebrock, who's a very well-known individual around here. She runs the WSU Cooperative Extension office here in town, and her tough job got a little bit tougher, got a whole lot tougher. Jefferson and Margaret, that conversation when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the Instant Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need, from top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style. They have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, just because I support a particular politician does not mean I have to jump to their defense if they or one of their associates does something wrong. For example, this Elon Musk recent flinging a Nazi salute. Now, any rational person would recognize this as a horrible thing. I mean, come on. In Germany, he would have been arrested. But a number of our current president's supporters have frantically searched the net to find pictures of Democrats waving, hailing a cab, or trying to get a waiter's attention and saying, look, it's the same thing. So why are they picking on poor First Buddy, as Musk has anointed himself? You know, I don't care who I support. If I can't admit it, when someone I like or someone connected with them does something they shouldn't do, you have every right to question my integrity, as I do yours. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life Channel.
Well, the role of Extension in every county in the state is to bring the information from the university, the research information from the university, to what we call place-bound people. You know, where they can't go to the university to get their information, so we bring the research, the information to families and farmers and youth in the area.
And some people might be familiar with programs that are commonly used, like the Master Gardeners program.
Right.
And that comes under your umbrella as well.
Right, Master Gardener program, a very robust program that we have in Chelan and Douglas County with over 100 volunteers.
And in nutrition and food preparation and food safety, as I mentioned, are kind of a big part of your mission. Is that right?
Yes, that's probably a big part of one of the things that I do is trying to keep people safe with their food, what they prepare at home, but I also work with the health department to train restaurant managers to make sure that the food that they're serving is also safe to the public.
And a lot of this is funded by kind of a web of grants and programs and federal projects and so forth. So can you tell me broadly for WSU Extension here in our two counties, what's say the percentage of federal funding that makes up your budget?
Well, it kind of comes from 3 or 4 sources. We get about a third of our money from the federal government. We get about it's kind of like a third and a third and a third. A third from the county, and then a third from the state, from the legislature, and then it's supplemented with a variety of different grants that we get to support new programs or different things.
One of the bigger sources, I think, for nutrition in particular has been the SNAP-Ed program. And this goes along with the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. SNAP-Ed itself was established in 1992. What did SNAP-Ed do for your agency?
Well, we were the first county in Washington State, and actually the first state in the United States to get a grant to start the SNAP-Ed program. And so the SNAP-Ed, or the educational part of it, was to work with people who were SNAP or food stamp recipients to help them make better food choices to improve their nutrition. And that's basically how it started out, and that's how it's continued for like 33 years.
33 years. And so in that time, has SNAP-Ed enabled you to launch particular programs? Were you having outreach through SNAP-Ed that you couldn't have done before?
Yeah, we have some great programs. This last year, before it was cut, we were probably in 60 different classrooms, and we took a series of 7 classes to those instructional classrooms, and cooperated with the teachers, cooperated with the schools, and and I think the bottom line is we're teaching kids how to appreciate good food, but at the same time we talk to them about reading labels, getting more exercise, and just learning basic nutrition. And so that was a big part of our program. But also on top of that, we've probably cooperated with about 60 agencies in the 3-county area, and to do a variety of different things. But we developed a community garden with Celebration Lutheran Church for limited income people to come and grow their food. We did it with a women's shelter, and we also did it with the Housing Authority in Wenatchee. And we built raised garden beds through grants and labor and people who helped us do that. And so not only did they grow food, but then we had classes to teach them how to use the food, successfully rather than waste it. And if they had excess, then we encouraged them to take it to the food bank.
So it's kind of interesting. We talk about food, but this sort of says something about how deeply food reaches into our lives, because it sounds like you were able to sort of have a holistic set of programs based around SNAP-Ed.
Right. It just wasn't teaching about nutrition, but it was putting it into practice. And another very successful program we just ran last year for the first time was with the transition program at Wenatchee High School. And these are students who are developmentally delayed, and they can stay in school till they're about 21 or 22. But then after that, they have to start looking at ways to get on their own and move out in the community. And so we had 20 students, and we had 10 classes with them. And so we taught them life skills of how to cook, how to shop, how to read labels, how to prepare food, and over those 10 weeks, and none of them yet live on their own, but that's the goal. They'll eventually move into a transitional living, either in an apartment or a group home, but we tried to bring in the forefront the things that they're going to have to know to do that.
Everybody that you've dealt with through this program, it sounds like you're trying to help them achieve some kind of food independence or nutritional independence along the course of their lives.
That's right, and then along with food safety, is another aspect of it. But we just find that a lot of people don't have a lot of skills in how to cook. And the comment is made sometimes, well, if they're getting SNAP dollars, they should be able to cook. Well, that doesn't always work that way. If somebody in your family didn't cook, you're not going to learn how to cook. And so that's why we have we don't like to call them cooking classes, but it ends up learning about nutrition and how to prepare food. But we do that with Head Start and EPIC and different organizations. In fact, I'm just starting a new series this week at Manson School with Latino parents on how to shop and prepare food and using the new dietary guidelines.
The new dietary guidelines were put out just recently by the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Health. Does that sort of change the approach you have to take in food education? Do you have to sort of rejigger your lesson plans to that?
Well, we've changed them to match what they're promoting, but I think it still comes back to eating whole foods and wholesome foods and staying away from ultra-processed foods, and just making recipes and cooking for your family with wholesome food.
So SNAP Ed program, separate from that, was defunded by the signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act in July of last year. So 33 years with this program, now that program's defunded. What's been the impact for WSU Extension here in the Valley?
Well, as we let our schools know that we weren't coming back, we were in 3 counties. That's a lot of schools, a lot of kids, and we weren't supplanting what they were supposed to teach. We were adding something new to their curriculum, that they didn't include already. And not only did we reach those kids, but we reached their parents, because every week they came to class, we sent a newsletter home to the parents in English and Spanish that said, here's what your child learned today, and here's some ideas to incorporate at home. So that's lost. As far as the nutrition education that we've done with the community gardens, we tried to make those so they'd be sustainable after we left, and they are. And but as far as the classes of what I do with this produce that I'm growing, won't be there. Maybe in a smaller vein, but not with having 3 employees and very good employees to teach these classes and have empathy for whatever they were doing. That's not there.
So to put some dollars on it, it was about $350,000 that you could depend on from SNAP Ed in the 2025-26 year, I think it was?
24-25.
24-25. But in 2026, that number has fallen to 0.
0, exactly. It's not there.
And that means the 3 folks that were employed in your office, they had to be let go.
Yes, they no longer have jobs, right.
Have you had clients, people who've used SNAP Ed in the past, or agencies that have relied on you for that? Have they reached out this year saying we need your service, and you've just had to say no?
Well, we've had people call and they haven't realized what happened. We tried to let all of our partners know, but still have people call and say, can you come to our agency and do programs, or that sort of thing. And like I said, I'm going to start a program in Manson, a three series program, and we'll see how it goes. I don't speak Spanish, but they're very good with having interpreters, and they've already recruited an audience, and so I think it will go well. But I can only go so far with that part of my program, because I administered that program. I didn't teach a lot in that program, and so again, losing 3 full-time people makes a big impact.
What's the funding stream for the Manson outreach?
Manson Outreach will be, the funding there will be using my county budget dollars to pay for the food.
So you've had to try and keep certain things going and patching the budget as you can.
Right.
Well, the Wenatchee School District had a lot to say. They spoke with Renee Diaz with Northwest Public Broadcasting about that. They said that you had provided nutrition education in more than 60 classrooms through SNAP Ed, and they said the reduction in these funds is felt by our students. These lessons provided a bridge between the cafeteria and the classroom, helping students and families understand why healthy choices matter. So it sounds like it's left something of a void for that school district.
It has, and the other thing that we did is we worked with Community Action with the mobile food market, and so people can go to the food bank and get food, like in the Wenatchee area. But Community Action had a mobile market that they brought to the schools, and we had the avenue to get into the schools where they had trouble recruiting an audience, and so working together, and then we set up a table and we did taste testing for what they had that day with the mobile food market, and we encouraged them to bundle the food. So if we were teaching them how to make a particular hearty soup in the wintertime or something like that, then they would bundle those foods together and people could pick up those foods, taste it with us, and go home and make it.
Do you worry, Margaret, that with the loss of this federal funding for SNAP Ed, which again has been in place for more than 30 years, the achievements you've been able to reach in Chelan and Douglas County, do you worry that they'll be backsliding? Do you worry that the kind of nutrition and health that you've been able to put in place, that we'll see some decline in that?
I don't think there's any other agency that will be able to step in and do what we've done. We still keep our fingers crossed that there might be some new funding coming through, but it's not looking good. But yes, I think there will be a backslide because there isn't anything that really takes its place. We were out there in the forefront with as many classrooms as we reached, the number of agencies that we collaborated with. It took a lot of years to build these partnerships and relationships. And I think we could bring them back if we had funding, but that's not looking very good at the moment.
Well, you've been involved in building up and sustaining WSU Extension here in the 2 counties for quite some time. Are you confident in its resilience? Do you think the programs can continue to march forward and make do with the budgets that they have?
We're working on it, and sometimes it's harder than usual to convince the funders of what's important and what we should be doing. But as people step forward, we're always encouraging them to talk to your decision makers, letting them know, how has Extension helped you and how has it made a difference in your life?
You've been in this position since 1970. Have you seen this kind of up and down or dramatic reversal of funding in the past?
We've had some ups and downs, but probably not as much as we've seen in the last couple of years. Just there's more demand on funding, whether you look at it at the local, the state, or the federal level, all over, and there's been some reduction. And part of it being is that we're not mandated by the RCW or the law to be here. We were mandated by legislation back in the late 1800s for a land-grant university and to take the information to the public, but not any money came behind it. So it was a people mandate and not an RCW mandate.
But you got a real legacy there.
Right, that's true.
Speaking of legacies, you recently, Margaret, received the WSU Length of Service Award for your service as the longest service extension specialist in the state. Congratulations there.
Thank you.
You've also been inducted into the Hall of Fame for the National Extension Association of Family and Consumer Sciences, which is one of the umbrella organizations for the work that you do. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
They're all lining up to tell you how great you are.
Yeah, and with several different organizations, we've also received some national awards for our SNAP-Ed program as well. So it's being recognized nationwide, what we do.
Well, I hope there's some way to bring back some energy and some funding into that program.
Thank you, so do I.
Yeah. Margaret Viebrock, Director of Extension, WSU Extension for Chelan and Douglas counties. Thank you a lot for being here today.
Thanks a lot for asking me.
You're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Jess Robertson. I'm an animal care associate here at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and today we're here with Rosebud. She's around 55 pounds, about 7 months old, so she's still in that puppy stage of her life. She came to us as an owner surrender, and she really is true to her name, where she's a Rosebud, but when she opens up, she's honestly a little Rose. So I like to call her Rose a lot of the time because she's a big sweetheart when you get to know her. She would do best in a home with someone who would give her time to open up and just show her the affection that she deserves. She'd also do best with having a more active lifestyle. Since she is a puppy, she probably would want to get some of those zoomies out. And she would probably benefit from just some basic training. As you can tell, she's a little bit crazy, but she does calm down. She could also benefit probably just from like enrichment activities like puzzle games, just some frozen Kongs, just something to keep her mind going. Well, she had the cosmetic surgery because she had a kind of inverted eyelid. I can't remember the actual medical term, but that's about the only thing that was really wrong with her. Other than that, she has a clean bill of health. She has made a few friends here, but as we always recommend, come in for a dog-to-dog meet and greet. If you do have a dog in the home, that is. I'm not quite sure how she is with cats, no. I think she would be okay with kids. She is still like a big puppy. She might be a little bit mouthy at times, but that's where she would benefit from just some basic training and activities to do to keep her mind going, huh? So you're not a crazy girl. She gives kind of husky, but also almost shepherdy as well. But to me, she's just a big floofington, so that's what you are. You're just a big floof. If you want to meet Rosebud, you can come into the Humane Society Tuesday through Thursday. And starting soon, we will be open 7 days a week. And we are open at 12:30 to 5:30.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
Well, if you like sunshine and mild temperatures, you got one more day to enjoy it. And that's today. It's been a gorgeous stretch of weather, really, for the last almost week. It certainly didn't feel like late February, did it, last week. It's going to continue for one more day today, and then things are going to start changing tonight. The clouds will be rolling in. There's a full lunar eclipse, which peaks at about 3:30 early tomorrow morning. How much of that we're going to be able to see here because of the increase in clouds is kind of up in the air, and for a lot of people, they don't do 3:30 in the morning. I do. At 3:30, I'm usually up, been up for about 45 minutes by 3:30 in the morning, but I'm not very bright either. We got some time. Cameras around the valley up to Nanapoc Ridge we go. As you can see, the fog hanging over the surface of Lake Wenatchee. That means the temperature of the air and the temperature of the water of the lake varies just enough where the fog comes in. Of course, it will eventually burn off, and it'll be a beautiful day up Lake Wenatchee way, which they are most of the time. Jump Off Ridge, gorgeous view there. You can see almost all of the East Wenatchee Bench. Of course, the west side of Wenatchee is tucked away behind Wenatchee Heights, but the entire Stimmel Basin is there. You can make out a little bit of the Three Lakes Golf Course in the Malaga area, and a good swath, almost all of East Wenatchee, and that incredible view of Jump Off Ridge. Pretty darn sweet, if you ask me. That's the theme to the show that Mac is playing in the background, which drives me absolutely insane. I'll guess and run the closing credits. We have more cameras. What else we got, Mac? Give me another camera. There's the Jump Off Ridge camera. I love live TV. We work without a net. Billy Goats, high above Pateros. Beautiful view there. Pateros had a pretty good weekend in basketball. They're still going to be playing this weekend in Spokane. I hope they take home a trophy, but there's from Billy Goat, that's Alta Lake down at the bottom of your screen there, and a big hunk of the mighty Columbia River and a little bit of the Methow as it flows in to the Columbia River. A couple of slides to show for you. There's your active weather. It returns basically Tuesday afternoon, I guess is about the best way to put it. It's certainly going to be cloudy most of the day tomorrow and into Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we're talking rain here in the Wenatchee Valley, quite a bit of rain in the Wenatchee Valley on Wednesday, and some snow in the upper elevations. Not a lot, but enough. Sunshine and 56 today. Get out and enjoy. 36 for the overnight low tonight. Again, clouds will be rolling in. Whether you're going to get up at 3:30 and watch the total lunar eclipse in full is entirely up to you. Clouds and rain a little bit on Tuesday and a lot on Wednesday. That's it for us. Have a great Monday. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.